Hi. Hello. Welcome. Hey, you doing? Hello, Ragdoll. Hello, Chib. Hello, hello, hello. Hell, oh. But also, ole. Yeah. Hi, welcome. It's Tuesday, I think. Otherwise, I'm doing things wrong. It is. Fantastic. Lovely. It's time for 16 Symbols. We haven't done this for a bit. And I definitely remember everything that happened last time. So, how are we doing? Are we having a good start to the week? It is Tuesday. How did you know? Oh, apparently Twitch has just said, welcome to the chat room. Thank you very much. It's not like I was here before everyone else, but thank you. Yeah. I knew that because I clicked on the thing that said what day it was on the computer. Calendar, some people call it. I think that's just fancy schmancy words. Using words with more than 2 syllables, honestly. Twitch chat tends to do that, yeah. If you'd write the story summaries, we wouldn't have this issue. I updated a lot of it, not all of it. It took a whole evening to do like 4 chapters. I can't remember, where did I stop? This is entertaining. No, don't go to the thing. Let me look at it. I apparently stopped chapter 12, the trading post. Okay, so with the Jiboas and such, everyone just met up. Yeah, we've only done 3 chapters since then. It's fine, and they've been very quick. Can't remember what they were, but they were very quick. What was the one immediately after that? That way doesn't matter. Anyway, the city. Apparently, we got a MacGuffin. Somebody joined, which was the Jiboa. We met a new character, and then we got another MacGuffin. Oh, was it? Oh, yeah, it was the city. We got the medicine, and then we got the toaster Mark II, didn't we? Because we met a little carpet friend. The seahorse, that was previous, yeah. And then after that, we went back to Rossenburg, one of the few places in the game that's been named. We fought a 5-year-old's drawing of a robot. And then we found out that Grandma Bonk's missing. And such. And then we went back to the cave. We found the Rosetta Stone for strange scrolls, cult scrolls. We got a bit of a flashback into the past to see that, oh hey, there's more than one strange beast fighting in the sky. And now we're fighting something, and I think that's what we have to start with. We have to design a boss. That's the first, that's what we're kicking off with. Yeah, it probably would have been helpful if you could have seen what I'm sort of pointing at. But whatever. You kind of want the toaster to be what we use to summon the East God. Yeah, but that can work. We can fit that in there somewhere. But yeah, we've only got 10 places left to go. Some of them are quite long, but you know, that's not terrible. And given that we've got a whole bunch of questions we want to answer, we can compartmentalize that quite nicely. This could be the part of the game where we have options on where we can go first. A bit more open world in the second half. We just got all the characters' stories, because we wrote down a list of stuff. And we wrote down a list of things we wanted to answer at some point. So we can just say, okay, this is one thing, the poison nurse and all that sort of stuff. We got Brad's thing with his parents past. Stoker with the dads who got some stuff with the village that vanished, if you remember that happened. Going back to Shroomville, that's a thing that's going to happen at some point, presumably. Where did the people in the shrine go? Maybe they also vanished, who knows. Fu is doing some more stuff with the resistance bits and bobs. The Jiboas want to know what's happening with all the other Jiboa outposts and so on and so forth. What's happening with the goons? That's happening. There's a robot uprising, if you remember correctly. That's a thing. We've obviously got the shrimp god thing to be sorting out. Christie's villain and the transformation into a shrimp. The bit where magic gets lost in the world and we got to deal with all that. Cat Pitilist we still haven't really met. And we got the toaster to solve. So we've got all those things that we've got to do in 10 locations. So I hope you're ready to cram some stuff in. You Scott is just stuck in the crumb tray. Hope we go to Shroomville, otherwise you draw those Shroomsmen for nothing. Absolutely, we're going there. We've got, look, most of the places that we've got left in the game are new. There is only one returning location for this, for the remainder of the draw through. The rest of it's new. So yeah. So that's that. I guess we have to design a boss. Can't remember exactly what happened. The circumstances, we returned to the cave, didn't we? And we showed Peridot this whole hippo fight shrimp thing, which matches a little something on the scroll that she gave us. Hi, Christy. Toaster is somehow the weirdest on that list. It doesn't have a lot of context, certainly. Meanwhile, we find I can't remember why. Oh yeah, Brad was kicked in the shins because of this. So we find the sort of translation for the scroll, and that gives us a bit more information as to what happened, and it turns out there was a fight between the hippo and the shrimp, and that was probably what destroyed things. You can't see it because of the symbols at the top, that's fine. So we learned a little bit more, mystical mumbo jumbo time. Brad did get kicked in the shins. He did. Yeah. And now a boss. Look at those good renders. What? Oh, at the top. Oh, yeah. I finally got around to doing that. That was last week. I've lost track. Yeah, so Fu and unnamed Jerboa friend finally have a symbol that isn't just a doodle, which is nice. Shrimp snake boss. How many snakes am I going to draw over the course of streaming? Many snakes. You made me draw a snake on Sunday. It was made of sapphires. That guy looks like a hippo teddy got yeeted out of the sky explosion. Well, a bit, doesn't it? Or just a teddy bear that's sort of facing to the top right, and his arms are flung back. A shake. It sort of reminds me of something in Final Fantasy IX, of there being a snake boss, and then later in the game you fight the same thing, but it just looks a little bit different. And it's not a recolor, they made a new model. It's like, why? Dunno. I'm sure we had an idea for what the boss would be. I've just forgotten what it is. Thinking like something like the snake boss from earlier when we were here but mutated. That's an idea. I guess then we can get some sort of confirmation that the mutation we saw in Christie's villain isn't just a kind of, you know, something that is sought out. It's a thing that's just happening. Okay, so what did that look like? It was just a big snake, wasn't it? How long ago was this? Before that. I remember the Kraken. Here we are. Big snake. So we have to mutate this. More eyes? I guess shrimp bits. I forgot about the barbed tongue that also had a snake on the end of it. What about that? What would a combination of a snake and a shrimp look like? A centipede. That's pretty accurate. Snectipede. Okay, let's try to draw a snectipede. I imagine it's not at all feeling well. It doesn't know what's going on in this whole situation. Yeah, maybe getting a bit of Guardian Ape from Sekiro vibes. Whereas, like, this ain't supposed to be happening. Remember to mutate the top hat. It has mutated into a stovepipe hat. Let me look up shrimp again. Or prawns! Let me also look up the thing I just... Okay. What was it again? Just looked at it, completely forgot. Okay, cool. How's everybody's week beginning? Is it going well? And Snurson, hi miss. Welcome to Bad Things Have Happened to a Snake. How are you? How's your day? Besides poor signage. Long week, long 6-day work week. Oh no. You're melting. Hi, Dark. Well, you're a dark sun. You're used to cold light. It was good, just tiring. Oh. Well, I hope you didn't come here to wind down with good drawings, because I don't know what's going on here. I want it to be sort of clearly not going according to any kind of plan. This is just happening. I want it to be just sort of random clusters of things going on. Snake's looking a bit cross-eyed. It's not having a good time. It doesn't know what's going on at all. Not the same one as before, but it's a similar sort of vibe. Why is there a leggy snake? We have returned to the shrimp cave that we were at before. And a boss turned up. So we decided to do the same boss, but hey, corruption's happening. And we can look at it and go, oh, that's not normal. Horrible shrimp mutation. I don't know what's going on with shrimp. But it's this now. So take that, biologists. I could go proper sort of Resident Evil style body horror here. Probably shouldn't, but music's a bit quiet as well. But the only biologist wants to take this. I don't know what I'm doing. It's fine. I can be cross-eyed with 8+ eyes. 8-sided cross. Simple. Auto saving. Auto save repairs. Auto save replace. What's the week holding for people? What's going on? I hear in Britain they've lifted all the lockdown stuff, so I bet you're all out nightclubbing. Some sort of weird toxic ooze Ripping off the tongue as well. It's now much more poisonous than it was before. I was about to say it's now poisonous. It's probably a massive snake. It probably was. Well, venomous. And the bosses in this game are always very weird, but if you're actually playing this, you'd definitely be like, well, this took a strange turn at this point. Mostly they're just sort of big things. A lot of the bosses so far. This is like big thing gone wrong. What has happened to big thing? Poor big thing. Saving again. Okay, sure. You go right ahead. Got juiced without side effects, so that's a good week so far. Hooray! Mo's info dump babbling is going to have a rough time during this fight. Mo just further info dumps and like, see, this is what happens when you let godly magic into the world without it being controlled in any form. Nightclubbing in this weather, you don't want to die in some scum pit. Lovely. Is that the new name for a mosh pit? That's just what'll happen in getting there in Bristol. I mean, I wasn't about to call people from Bristol scum, but no, you mentioned no. No. Yeah, first impressions, not a strong drawing day, but we'll see. This poor snake, it really doesn't know what's going on. He has to stop that. Oh yeah, I should do. Just over here. The perspective, I didn't plan the perspective, so I don't know if it's going to work with this. Particularly. Oh well, that's what it is. A good scum pit with butter. That sounds horrible. Gained enough legs for several OnlyFans. Is that the admission? You need legs for admission. Must have this many legs to enter. Only legs. Only... See, my brain convinced me I had a funny ending to that, but it didn't. Cool, so that's that. Okay, so what else? Briefly while we're here, we can have a little ending to what we're going to do at this point. Because this is basically the end of the sort of main plot of this area. We're probably not going to come back. So what happens following the attack of the 50-foot mutant snake? Only bear legs? No, these are shrimp legs. 1 second. Sorry, I had to blow my nose. Yeah. So this is, we've come here, we found the Rosetta Stone thingy-maboodle, or what's it in the thingy. We have translated the scroll and learned a little bit more about the past, and that it wasn't just the shrimp god coming along that destroyed everything. There was a fight between the shrimp god and the hippo thing. Hippo god, I still don't know at this point whether or not we have understood the connection between Grandma Bonk and the hippo god. Only barely legs. I think this thing's beyond barely legs. This is many legs. This is too many legs. This is, I can't bear it legs. I can't bear any more legs. Legs, just legs. Legs. Right, well that happened. So I guess where do we want to go next? We're done with this area. We had we had the plot of arriving and talking about the stones and all that sort of stuff. We got the MacGuffin of the Rosetta Stone. We have the mystical mumbo jumbo of going back in time and seeing the conflict between the two big ol' cosmic entities. He speaks clearly. You think Mo at this point would be aware that there's some connection between Hippo Goddess, Shrimp God, Grandma Bonk, but not sure what the connection is exactly. I mean, we know that there's something up with Grandma Bonk because she was in the past. And that's not right. But yeah, whether or not. Maybe this is one of those things where the player can make the connection that, hey, we saw Grandma Bonk at that point in time, and then when we came back later with a bit more information, we saw a big hippo in the sky, and Grandma Bonk's thing is a hippo. Maybe there's a connection. The only other hippo we've seen in the game happens to be the familiar of Grandma Bonk, who is now missing as things are going wrong. You know, but maybe Mo hasn't made that connection just yet. Because to Mo, Grandma Bonk isn't an abstract character, there's somebody they've known their whole life. So it's maybe a little more difficult to sort of make that sink in. Make the players do the work. Yeah, so we don't have to. It's like, the sentence is coming through my mouth at this point, the draw through a magic. It's just nonsense from start to finish. But yeah, I was watching a speedrun of Final Fantasy VIII the other day, and somebody pointed out that it was... Like, do you remember the bit where Jesse McCree just... whose entire job at that point of the game was to be a sniper, to shoot somebody. They got to that point, and they were like, no, I can't do this. And, you know, their cocksure attitude just disappearing, and our assumptions were that, hey, it's just, you know, he bottled, his confidence was all a facade, etc., etc. Somebody pointed out that because he was the only person who didn't have amnesia, he was the only person that remembered that the sorceress was the person who looked after them in the orphanage of plot convenience. So that maybe the reason he bottled was because he suddenly had to shoot the person who looked after him when he was a kid. And he was like, I can't do that. And basically what I'm trying to get at here is there is nothing in the game that says that. And if this person was a person who existed in the real world and actually had real, you know, ambitions and motivations and decisions to be made, then fair enough, I'd go with that. But he exists purely as a piece of writing, and there is nothing in the writing that suggests this. And so it's like, the player's doing more work here than the story is. Putting that together. It's like there's something there, and it could be that may very well be the intention of the writer, but there's nothing in the writings to suggest that. It makes sense, I know, but it's never mentioned. It makes sense in retrospect. But yeah, point being, sometimes games do make the player do the work, and sometimes it looks like an accident, because it might be. Oh, plot of FF8 is more work for the player. It's, yeah. I think it's less work for the player. I think the plot of Final Fantasy VIII is like... It's like one of those snakes that has a pattern on it that says, hey, I'm venomous, you shouldn't come near me, but it's actually harmless. It's one of those things. It's like, you know, you shouldn't bother dealing with me. Warning, warning, I am dangerous, stay away from me. That's what Final Fantasy VIII is. As it goes through, it's just like, stop thinking. You're only gonna get hurt. Stupid open-ended plots. I liked the connection, but I also like the fact that I've played that game so many times. We did an entire discussion about it, and nobody thought that that was a thing. FF8, there is no plan. There are plans in the game. They're just all bad. Consistently. Anyway, we're not doing FF8. That was the last roll through. This is 16 Symbols, and we are going somewhere friendly. A new place. New friendly place. So now that we know about the whole shrimp god thing, and that there is corruption happening, where are we going to go? This is slightly better than FF8. I mean, I guess so. The characters, well, I was about to say the characters have individual motivations and things, but we don't really, looking back, we haven't really had time to flesh them out or look at how they interact or anything like that, which is a bit of a shame. But, you know, I don't know what Peridot thinks of Gil. Did they get along? Did they argue? I don't know. There is no orphanage of plot convenience, the bar is low. That's true. Okay, so what's the first thing that happens in this new... It's a short location, not a lot happens, but in it, there's a boss rush. Great. What a friendly location this is turning out to be. We finally seen the symbol, though. That's all the symbols now. Oh dear, very friendly location. I mean, I don't know what's happening in the location. The idea of a friendly location is it's a place where, theoretically, you should feel safe, but evidently something's gone wrong. Something, you know, maybe the place is under attack, as the Jabones location was. Then again, that wasn't a friendly location because it was just part of another location that was less friendly. I don't know. We bent the rules. It's fine. There's like some kind of Colosseum. I don't know. Maybe it's just like. So okay, what kind of things could I mean by a boss rush? Boss rush could be just a sequence of battles that you don't have any breaks between. Like, for example, in Final Fantasy IV, there's a bit where you have to defend a castle, and there's just like wave after wave of enemies attacking the castle. I could mean a bunch of previous bosses returning and fighting you one after the other. That's something that happens quite a lot. Maybe this can be related to Brad's family. Maybe. It could mean fighting a boss that has like multiple forms that are in sort of sequence in a battle. Or at least Brad's story. Fungi lived for a long time and kind of won and all that, so maybe Shroomtown Elder can remember being turned sentient or something? Law something? You lost it. Oh, that's an idea, sort of like a sort of an inherited memory sort of thing, maybe. Or just being old. You cannot kill me in a way that matters. That kind of thing. There was a thing on Tumblr the other day. There was like a list of posts along those a list of phrases, quotes along those sorts of lines of like, you cannot kill me in a way that matters. These sorts of oddly sort of unnecessarily powerful phrases that you don't quite understand what they mean. But one of them sort of stood out to me as being, you have no idea the violence it took to be this kind, or whatever, something like that. And I'm like, that's Peter Capaldi's Doctor in Doctor Who, and he never said that, but that's the best sentence that sums him up, and it's great. Next symbol for context, always context. Oh good, it's a boss. How's that for context? I thought I set it up so that wouldn't happen, but evidently not. Thing is, past me must have seen that. Past me must have seen that. I went, oh, it's fine. And current me, with a bad memory. Get the whole row? Sure, why not? But oh, when someone joins, we get a friend. We get a reward. Maybe it is a corruption thing. Maybe it's like, See, I'm thinking about the yeah, that's the one. That's the quote, Jimmy. Can you feel your heart burning? Can you feel the struggle within? The fear within me is it beyond anything your soul can make. You cannot kill me in a way that matters. Kill out mushrooms. Oh yeah, my first thought was mushroom place, and like there's some sort of corruption spreading through it, and so we fight a bunch of horrible monsters that are sort of created from the corruption, and then we fight something that is corrupted, and us fighting it causes it to go back to normal, and then it joins our party as sort of like, oh, thanks. But I don't know. I feel like the mushroom place deserves more than that in the story, so maybe somewhere else. Boss rush is the brackets, then there's the break, and we fight the champion. Goop whirlpool of missing factory starts for me. Maybe. I'm trying to think of like what other places do we have? We had the magma city, but I don't know whether that's. I don't even know where that fits in the story, to be honest. Night Mushroom Place to have more plot character development so we can have a guild moment. Yeah, exactly. So I guess it's going to have to be either the next one or the one a couple after, because I imagine we're going to consider it a friendly place, right? I guess it could be there, but there's not a lot going on there. Okay, so this is just going to be a stream of me drawing bosses. Let's look at our list. Let's look at the to-do list. Things what are set up for part 2. Okay, so we have the whole poison nurse thing, and Grandma Bonk disappearing. Maybe that's something we're trying to chase. Maybe we go somewhere as a consequence of trying to find where Grandma Bonk went. We have the whole Brad thing with his family, learning a bit more about what his parents did. Maybe we have to deal with some of the fallout of that. Stoker and the dads, there's nothing there, I don't think. Trying to work out where the villagers went. Yeah, maybe I don't know, maybe we do find. Maybe we find another factory of the same sort of kind, but all of the people in the factory have now just turned into horrible goo monsters. And we find somebody that we met before, who is now a horrible goo monster, and we fight them and we save them, and shrimp goo shrimp. Grimp. Kind of works. Shrew. That's the shroom people. Yeah, maybe something like that. I don't know. It's an idea because there's not an awful lot in the villager thing. Like saving the villagers is a thing to be done, but I don't think there's much like groundbreaking story there, if that makes sense. And we could do it as a kind of like BioShock kind of, like this factory has been abandoned or something. It no longer serves the purpose that it was originally sort of set up for, so they've just abandoned it in the middle of nowhere, and we've got a kind of some sort of maniac sort of who's taken it over and sort of enslaved the monsters within, and we arrive and they set up a kind of tournament with, you know, shouting through a megaphone that, oh, finally have a new competitor, and have sort of like a weird, how is this a friendly place? Because it's found in a village much like the one we went to previously, and it's the same factory, it's just teleported there now. Evidently maybe it's been teleporting around, abducting people, I don't know. And this is the sort of like terminal destination because it's now no longer useful for whatever purpose, and so we end up going through this sort of gauntlet. I quite like that. It feels sort of BioShocky, Elder Scrolls-y almost. Not Elder Scrolls. I think stuff like that happens in Fallout. Jethro gets all excited because they think it's their home factory, but it's not. I mean, I think the idea is that it is, but it's moved. But all the people who were in that are still in it, but they're also now monsters. And we end up just fighting like a sort of a sequence of monsters being released by this sort of maniacal person who's enslaved these monsters, as it were. Yeah, I don't know. Was the 10-year-old manager in the factory when it disappeared? No. He went on the train. You like Portal Mumbo Jumbo Factory Timey Wimey Goop? And you said you like the sentences coming out of my mouth. Okay, I like that idea because it sort of wraps up the... It can wrap up. We also have to decide what kind of character we're going to have joining our party. Goop tournament! But yeah, this is like the part of the story that kind of doesn't really have anything much going on with it, so it makes sense to have it over quite quickly. You know, Jethro is just wondering where his village went. And now he finds them, and we can save them from their goopy slavery. Why is our party so big? Because we're taking a leaf out of Final Fantasy VI. Quantity over quality. Also to show... Oh, it's getting serious. Yeah, okay, so we can just design some... Well, let's try and design this maniac character who's just sort of lost it. Or maybe they work for the company. Maybe they were left to make sure this place doesn't sort of decay, to make sure the monsters don't escape, at least until there's plausible deniability. And they just sort of, they've been left on their own here for a bit, and they've just sort of they've let it go to their head. Or the fumes from the toxic goop have caused some problems. Oh, welcome to the chat room. I have joined the chat room, everybody. Just so you know. Okay, so I like that. And presumably we can somehow release all the people in the factory from the spell, or maybe not everybody just yet, but enough people to realize that this is the thing that can be done, but we can't do it on our own just yet, because there's just too many people in the factory. Really? Welcome. Welcome! Hello! We can save some, but not yet all. Okay, so who's our sort of Riddler, Mad Max, ringleader, sort of... Maybe we can, but we're not sure how we did it. Ooh, more unanswered questions. Presumably the answer is that we did it by beating things up with brooms and toasters. Okay, so we have new towns. We go to a new village. We discover the factory from before. Same factories moving around. And we find that the village is literally completely deserted. And we go to the factory and we find that we actually can go in it this time. And then, you know, the door locks behind us and everything starts going wrong. Boss rush, then just boss, and then car join. We can talk about that as we go along. We don't have to decide who the character is just yet. I think they should be related to the last boss. There we go, it should update. Mo does something weird, but isn't sure how to replicate it for a large group. For a large goop. Where would that come up again? I think it's worth, if we're going to introduce more questions, we should probably have a vague idea of to when they could be resolved, maybe in what we already have planned for future stories. So where would that likely be useful? Would that be useful? Would that be useful with the whole kind of switch off thing, where all the magic sort of gets lost and everything sort of turns off? Maybe Mo has the ability to somehow breathe the original life back into something, and maybe we can get, you know, Gil or Jethro or something back up, or Flo, even just Flo. And then it's worked out that if you try really hard and you really believe that you deserve it, then you can make your own brush. Bo goes, wait, before hitting the final blow on a monster, because she can see the real them in there. Yeah. Maybe related to Poison Nurse and her thing with Shrimp God and trying to control whatever. Possibly. Is Poison Nurse actually covered in goop? We've never seen their skin. There are many unanswered questions with Poison Nurse. So we could do something with Poison Nurse, maybe. Maybe Poison Nurse has a whole goop thing going on, and we sort of rediscover how we did this during that, which allows us to sort of reduce the effectiveness of Poison Nurse, make it so they're not as powerful as they thought they were. That would be rad, yeah. We're in the middle of a fight and we sort of smash off the mask or something, and underneath is just this sort of layer of goop, and it's like, is there a person under there? I don't know. I want to go to the doctor and get that checked. Probably. There's a lot of goop around the place. Mo put the magic back into the ground. She makes it be nature again somehow. She isn't sure how, but it shows that there's magic in like nature and other creatures. Was that something we decided? Yes. The magic sort of... The magic of the power between the Shrimp God and the Hippo God got dissipated into the world and just sort of got put in everything. Which is why we have familiars and why we have animate mushrooms and why we have Jerboas that can talk and think and stuff. So yeah. So maybe it's just Mo is learning how to sort of concentrate that. I guess if she's sort of like a sort of continuation of the Hippo Goddess, then she would have some sort of control over that, because part of that power did come from the Hippo Goddess. Hello! Grass grows again, and also Gil grows an inch. No one notices, though, because he's already quite big. It's one of those things the developers put in, you just never notice. Oh, sorry you've had nothing but phone and nonsense since you got home, but you're still here for chill friend times. No worries. Hopefully things can calm down. Unfortunately, in the stream, things aren't going to calm down, because I now have to draw at least 4 bosses. Oh god, we're almost an hour in. I've only drawn one thing. Okay, so we go to a village and we find the thing again. Let's get that back. Phone calls. I understand. You wrote phone. There's not an awful lot that happens with a phone that isn't a phone call. At least when people refer to it as a phone. Yeah, there's Avery and all that. Goop. There, this was the thing. Okay, so we have a big old Zonkin factory. Hath returneth. Only now it's bigger, I'm gonna guess. Same sort of thing, but with sort of augmentations that just sort of grew over time. Or it got grown. There's Akiro, hello! Gil talks now? Yeah, Gil can talk. Jethro can't. Gil can. Talk to Gil after the tournament. He has a hidden dialogue thing where he mentions that he thinks he's hit a second growth spurt. Hope you're all doing alright. We're doing alright. I've just got to draw 4 bosses. How are you? So Mo's knowledge thing goes off during the fight. During the first fight, and she realizes these goo monsters are people. And the last fight ends with her doing something that dissipates the goop and restores magic. Cool. Maybe the goop... Previously the goop was just like, hey, we need a mystical mumbo jumbo boss to make up for the fact that this factory just disappeared before we could get in it. It'd be nice if we sort of knew what it was for. Maybe the goop is actively leeching off this power. It's actively sort of taking the sort of life magic and just going, mine! And so by sort of dissipating the goop, we can bring the magic back, or by bringing the magic back, we can dissipate the goop. Wick's voice can only be heard by the worthy. I mean, if you've heard Wick's voice, it's too late. Maybe there's big old bits of wood just sort of nailed across it. It's like, no entry, no one's coming in here anymore. These are also absolutely enormous pieces of wood. Don't worry about it. And now this is by another small village. This one has a little church in it. So I imagine this thing's been sort of hopping around villages, sort of. Is it sentient? I don't know. But it has been caused to hop around through villages and such. Sort of taking people in and turning them to goop. You're late. Might have to leave again before the end because you're helping your brother with a doctor's appointment. Might miss tomorrow's stream because you might be applying for to a job and I'm meeting someone tomorrow. Glad to catch what I can. Marv, yay for cool, exciting things. You're glad this factory is getting even more nonsensical. It was always nonsensical. It's great. Maybe it's absorbing magic and the poison nurse is using it to do magic experiments or something. Yes. We know this is connected in some way to Christie's villain because that's where we met Christie's villain. Exciting but busy Kira, make sure to take a moment for yourself, preferably with a good cup of coffee. Yeah. You know intellectually that it'll be okay, whatever happens, but you're very nervous and still working on your resume, but yeah, bit by bit. Yeah, step by step. Get in there. They do bricks, right? Whatever. Yeah, lots of hearts. Lots of hearts for the Kiro. Hooray. Oops, all hearts. Yes. I'm glad I added that feature. It's good. Yes. So, we come to this village. It's deserted, properly deserted this time. We find the factory. We probably noticed that before the village, it must be said. And we break our way in. No knives for Kiro, though. That's for Kijiro. Kijiro, at that point, has a surplus of knives. We haven't bought a single one of them. And they have to keep stocking up on the more advanced ones as the game goes by. And it's like, I still have all the old ones. Yeah, so this is a bad investment. Sometimes merchants in RPGs make bad investments. Oops, all knives. That's the the name of the sequel to Knives Out. Knives Out 2. Oops, all knives. Half the game's files are taken up with Kojiro's knives. Yeah. So why is this game 130 gigabytes? Well, it's supposed to be 2.5, but Kojiro starts slipping them into the pockets of adventurers and children just to get rid of them. Chaos. Yeah. So we go there. We get inside. Door locks. Weird Saw-like situation starts happening. Let's design a kind of villain. A one-chapter villain. Who are they going to be? This sort of maniacal... I own this place, so these are my monsters. You will fight them now, kind of thing. Wick has their knife, and it's like, this is my knife. The knife will change, but it'll be theirs. Multiple knives are not necessary. If you need multiple knives, you're using it wrong.
Welcome. It seems we have a new challenger tonight.
That kind of thing. So we got that going on, then we get attacked by a whole bunch of horrible goop monsters. Then a little bit of story happens with regards to a particular goop monster coming along. And that's the fight that we dissipate some of the magic. Enough to at least be able to get to this person, stop them. Or maybe they're part of that fight. That makes sense. They could be part of the fight. We defeat them and knock them out or something. And then we have someone who we saved from the goop join, who we must work out. You drawing the trash man for the new Resident Evil game? You drawing Boy Frank Heisenberg? I don't really know. All of the bits I've happened to have watched of the Resident Evil are from the beginning, or bits involving the castle and what's her name, Dimitrescu. So I don't really know an awful lot about Heisenberg. You've not reblogged enough Heisenberg art on Tumblr yet. I have, but I can imagine not a lot of it's canonical. We don't need Hot Magneto? What? And you don't know how accurate you are then. Okay, cool. I mean, I was just thinking of a kind of Bioshocky sort of thing. I don't even know if this happens in Bioshock, but it just has that feel to it. You turn up, like in The Artist, you turn up in the artist's place and there are these sort of sculptures and it's like, you need to give me these sculptures. But I will throw waves of monsters at you for some reason. Or Slate from Infinite. Spoilers. It's the next draw through. What do you mean not canonical? Like, it's nice. I like that. I like that version of those characters. But I'm not going to take them as accurate representations of the game. Okay. So, how long has passed? I mean, I guess it's wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff. A lot of time could have passed. What we need is a very tall vampire lady. Do we? Only if she has a long white moustache. You mean they'll also just all play Uno together? No. Well, it's not confirmed. I was cooking and had chimkin fingies. Are you mutating into a chimkin? You didn't miss anything, don't worry. Let's just get a kind of body shape going, roughly. Rough pose. And then we can modify as we go. This is like one of those drawings of like, hey, draw your OCs in place of these blank characters doing these things. How do hips work? I have drawn today, annoying. Well, actually, no, I haven't drawn anything today. I've coloured. I did colouring in of things what I drew before. Just drawing a ringleader, announcer, insane corporation man. We're gonna fight some shrimpy goo people. That's what's happening. Boss Russia blobs. That's what's happened. Yeah, so we went into the factory. There's some sort of crazed ringleadery sort of character going on. I was gonna make a hips don't lie thing. It's a minion's face. What, eyes and a mouth? Probably. Or are you referring to like Igor from Young Frankenstein? The what was his name? Marty Feldman. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't draw. Who is this character? Do they have Anne to Pat? Do they have... I was going to carry on drawing, but I just realised I'll probably just end up drawing Grigori. A cape? Are they going... I like the idea that it's sort of like they've tried to go for that sort of look, but with whatever they can find. Does Grigori have more siblings than Poison there? Who is Grigori's... I can't remember now. My brain fails. And they're just a circus showman. I'm kind of going for that kind of sort of gladiatorial showman sort of master of ceremonies kind of thing. But I like the idea that it's just sort of like improvised out of nonsense. There's clearly a bit of delusion going on here. That Grigori is the absolute dweebus of the family, not that any of you could tell. That's not us. I wouldn't have thought. Would never have thought. Also, the least insane. Yeah, definitely wouldn't have thought. Oh, yeah, it was just poisonous, wasn't it? Yeah. Sorry, I got confused with your sentence. You said, does Grigori have more siblings than Poison Nurse? I thought what you meant was, does the number of siblings Grigori has outnumber the number of siblings that Poison Nurse has? I was like, I don't know how many siblings Poison Nurse has. What? It's second cousin Ricard. Okay, so I guess if it's like Grigori but not, it's sort of hair that goes down. rather than up. Grigori has a moustache and I think sideburns, so sort of like chin strap soul patch thing. I'm taking a guess that the poison nurse has just as many siblings as Grigori. Isn't that a coincidence? Eye patch. Why not? Completely unnecessary. They don't need it. They're just wearing it for fun. You don't know what Grigori looks like. Well, I can reference you to the original artist's art because it's very good. So this here, this was the original art. I don't know if you can look up the artist.
No.
No, you can't. Okay, well, I'll try and find a link to them and I'll put it in Discord. Oh, is it just Miss Art? Okay, if you just look up just Miss Art, they probably have profiles on a bunch of different things. We'll work it out. Okay, so yeah, downward hair. It's looking a little bit sort of Snake Plissken. Is she taking commissions at the moment? Oh, fantastic. People should commission her. That'd be great. What do I want to do with this top hat? I want it to be more interesting than that. Is it just like a big cog? Got a very strong neck. That much we can ascertain.
At reasonable prices for very good work.
Well, that sounds like a fantastic deal. Head on down to your local Just Miss Art commissions today. It's be a heavy top hat. It's made of a cog and a nut. Because it's a metaphor.
Also doodle commissions for cheap on her KOFI.
Actually that's not a nut, is it? It's a bolt. I always get the two mixed up. Hooray! Doodle commissions for cheap on Ko-fi. Oh, your KOFI. I cannot think of a funny acronym that KOFI can stand for, so I'm just going to stop trying to think because it's taking too long. There's a weird top hat. I guess it would make sense if it was just a bolt, right? Now that I think about it. Just a bolt but the other way up. Nope, it's that now. They got like a kind of clockwork thing going on. Clockwork ringleader. Clockwork Soldiers vibrates in Dishonored. I mean, we can have Clockwork Goop monsters, why not? Shirtless, that's a choice. I don't know. Try something different, you know? I was thinking, have we had a shirtless character yet? No. I'm having withdrawal symptoms from Noodle Gear Solid, where our main character was wearing a sports bra. I feel like I should be holding something in this hand. Just a better pipe, maybe? I don't know. My ideas are not amazing today, turns out. But on top of it is something more interesting. I don't know, some sort of scepter-y thing going on, but it's made out of screws and nails. It's like a door handle. Get a bit of Fallout, really. Knicker option is fundamentally inevitable. Is that in reference to the wearing the sports bra thing? Also wearing the appropriate briefs. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I took this upon myself. We could have just been fighting a bunch of monsters. But I wanted a megalomaniacal strange person. You don't know. What are words anymore? That's a very good question. They're very similar to hands in as much as people just don't know. See, my first thought was like something along the lines of like killing our... I wanted something like, you know, killing our expectations, or like just something positive. Sort of like, oh, we're much better than you thought because Miss is great. But I couldn't think of anything that would fit. Knives out for the internet. How much skin around heavy machinery is definitely a health and safety no-no. I mean, the machinery probably isn't working anymore. The whole thing's been sort of shut down. This is a terrible drawing. Just thought I'd point that out. Also one leg rolled up. Why not? Tell you what, hang on. Let's do it. Let's go full Nomura. We had to do it at some point. All the belts. Trouser belts, yes. Have you considered putting a belt on your trouser leg? If not, why not? No, you're the strange one. Beep, bop, 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 bop. He's the strap man. Stay silent instead of continuing to type that this is the exact kind of dumpster fire man you would adore in a game. It's so terrible. Chibi has adopted them. You can feel it. Miss knows you too well. Put it this way: while I don't know enough about the true continuity of the game, I can absolutely see this character playing Uno with Heisenberg. He knows your taste in horrible video game men. I don't know what's going on with shoes. I always default to slippers. Let's do something different. Slippers or stilettos, if I can't think of anything other than boots. No, you're right. You would play Uno with Heisenberg. I know. I was gonna go Crocs actually. That was my first thought. However, I have a different idea. Hang on, let me get a quick reference up. Fantastic. He has invented his own method of propulsion. His own means by which to navigate this arduous mess. For the monsters are slow and he is quick. I just want to share this. You're sitting in your car while watching, listening to this, and you have it on at the moment because it's a hot day and you want some AC, and ZZ Top's Sharp Dressed Man is currently being played on the radio. Probably not what was being thought of when that song was being conceived of. Eisenberg can make him go whoosh. Fantastic. More belts. This is not a watch, it's just a belt. Okay, well we have who's a contemporary of Heisenberg? Schrödinger? I have no idea if there's a contemporary, it's just the first name that popped into my head. What a disaster of a design, you love it. It's a belt with a pocket watch attached to it, it's just dangling. Yeah, I don't know. This character's for Chibi, they can name it. Yeah, okay, so, this is the sibling Poison and Grigori do not talk about, yes. It's not so much the family have disowned this person, it's just more they've just stopped talking about them. So, I like the idea that later in the game you can have a conversation with Grigori, and he just makes allusions to this character, and the player is supposed to put two and two together and realize that they're related. Grigori! Nope. Covers face. I'm not here. And he's got Wick by his feet. Grigori going, look, one time I want you to be aggressive, and Wick's just standing there with his arms folded. It's just, no, I'm going to enjoy this. Okay, so, okay. Bran just gives up. Wick, you monster. Wick is here for chaos. I do often think, like, if I ever do, I mean, hopefully if Chibi wants to do the Dishonored thing at some point, that I'll jump on that. But I have the feeling that I would either, in RPGs, I would either end up playing a character that is remarkably like me, or a character that is remarkably like Wick, and that there is no in between. I can't believe that Wick and Schrodinger are best friends. I guess it makes sense that it's called Schrodinger, because if the family don't look at him, they can pretend he doesn't exist. Okay, so now that the amusements have begun, we now need to design some bosses for the boss rush. So Goop monsters. Throw out ideas for Goop bosses. I guess we'll start small and work our way up. Good luck you have half an hour. I mean, we can make this go across. Maybe we can do the boss rush. The boss rush. I've said boss brush more than I've said boss rush. Maybe we can do the boss rush today, and then like the proper boss. I thought I'd be able to speak today. I recorded the voiceover for the next video, so I thought, oh, that went okay. You know, I sounded good in that. I sounded, you know, the audio equivalent of legible. But, what's the word? Not audible, but comprehensible. But evidently not. Evidently, it's just bleh. I just used up all of my pronunciation during that. I think some of them should have machine parts stuck in the goo. Yeah, we can do combinations.
Boss brush, boss rush, boss brush, boss rush.
Yeah. Red lorry, yellow lorry, boss rush, boss brush. How now, brown boss brush? So. Monsters. Was there a Pokemon that was that? Was that goo with cogs in it? Or am I making that up? There have definitely been cog Pokemon, but I felt like there was a goo cog Pokemon. Oh, was that? Hang on, no, that was the Digimon thing, wasn't it? Cogs? I'm gonna stop talking now. So. Wow, it's hot. Have I mentioned that it's hot? Slightly delirious. Let's draw some shapes. In lieu of a design, let's draw some shapes. Big ol'... Yeah, I quite like that. There's something going on there. A bunch of hands sort of sticking up from this mush. You know, maybe if this is the gauntlet part of the game, maybe there's a bunch of different bosses that you could theoretically encounter, but you only get 3 of them per playthrough. Design your own goop monster. New homework. Then there's just Goop Sphere. It's just a sphere. But it's oddly powerful. And just sort of hovers there. Homework. Design Goop. Because remember, this goop's weird. It kind of falls up sometimes. It's a melted Among Us character. Maybe. Got too close to the temperature thing. Okay, let's go with sort of clockwork ideas. Put some cogs down and then goop them up. Today is your week. Well, now is your weekly reminder. Gotta go. Hope you have fun later. You have fun. You good luck. Have a wonderful time. Giving you supports. Go Kiro. Good luck, followed by Wibbly Grimer. I don't know why I'm trying to think of like fun names for these things, but for some reason my brain can't stop saying the words Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, and I don't know why. It's not not helpful. Rosencrantz and Goopenstern. I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, if this is a combination of, like, people in Goop. Well, I guess it shouldn't be obvious that there are people in there to start with. I'm trying to think of, like, sort of... like, sort of things that have, like... If you look closely enough, are basically just, like, human body parts doing things you don't expect them to do. Like, the teeth in this being fingers or whatever. Like, maybe there's sort of a bit of an arm sort of poking out before one of them so that it can help you sort of realize what's going on. What? 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 I didn't say nothing. Unless Shakespeare is now the Dark Souls of plays. It's the fingers for teeth. I was actually... if I was going to think of anything, I was going to be thinking of the monstrosity of sin, which is just made of fingers. But thank you for bringing it up, because I did forget about that. There's a coin in the jar for Miss. But you know what I mean? Something like that. I'm not entirely sure what. Like, this is obviously less subtle, just actual hands coming out of goop. But I quite like that one. That was quite fun. I also like the idea of that one because it's just like, what is this? And it just, I like the idea of that one. Just sort of spits things out. So you've got kind of like, here is sphere. Always a fan of a seemingly unmoving, unfeeling, unthinking sphere. Fun fact, you don't know what game the mimics are from? It's all blended into one in your brain. All of them. Dark Souls. All of the Dark Soulses. Soulsborne dying twice or whatever the games have mashed into. Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. Are they in Demon Souls? They might be in Demon Souls. I don't know. Haven't played it. But they're definitely in the Dark Souls. There's none in Bloodborne. None in Sekiro. I like the idea of this, and then it just sort of like... sort of opens up and just sort of throws cogs out or something. It's a goo cyber disc. And maybe like as the fight goes on, it sort of gets more and more sort of more and more sort of degraded, and things start sort of poking out the sides of it. I like that. That's an interesting idea for a boss. Just sort of degrades over time. Okay, that's an interesting idea for a good monster. I feel like probably we should have like a kind of stereotypical big old blah blah monster. Looks unassuming, but then it opens and things just die. Yeah, I like that sort of thing. I like a thing that you look at it and like, I'm not intimidated by this, and that makes me scared. Big walla monster, yes. So what I'm thinking is like stereotypical kind of, sort of. Maybe multiple arms, why not? It's made of goo, it can do what it wants. This sort of thing, you know what I mean? But is it made of green candy? I wouldn't advise eating it. For several reasons. Firstly, it probably wouldn't take kindly to being eaten. And secondly, unexpected side effects. Does it have a nipple? That's a question. That's a good template. Auto saving. So yeah, anyone, while I'm doing this, anyone have any ideas for who this character is that we're gonna get? Because they're gonna join the party. They're gonna be a main character. How long they're gonna be with us, I don't know. But they could just be the character that we keep with us, so that when the character leaves symbol pops up, we're like, yeah, that'll do. Could be optional as well. Do you want a human or a machine? That's a good point. We don't have a machine, do we? That makes sense. And maybe that leads us on to the whole robot uprising thing, or gives us a sort of personal... I mean, we have Gabe, obviously, but we don't... That's not in the party. We have a connection to it in character, but not necessarily in party. And maybe that could be a connecting point for when we meet the goons again. There's sort of like there's something that we're both sort of interacting with. You just saw what that is. Praise the sun. Yeah, it's Solaire wearing his helmet. Goop friend looks like he's dancing. You should be dancing, Goop. Gotta admit, the Foo Fighters releasing an album of Bee Gees covers, not something I expected. But moreover, listen to their cover of You Should Be Dancing. They did a video of it recently on YouTube. Underwhelmed, strangely. It felt like it had less oomph than the original, which is not what you expect. I quite like that song. And their version's just a bit... Like the Foo Fighters. Like a bit of Bee Gees every now and then. That's a good song. Underwhelmed. I don't know if any of you know what I'm talking about, but hey. Nope. Cool. I guess I basically gave you the gist of it in the sentence. The Foo Fighters have released an album of Bee Gees covers. Yeah. And the first one off of it was You Should Be Dancing, and I thought it was weak. Been in a true crime hole for the past 2 weeks. Fantastic. Unless by that you mean crimes have been happening to you, in which case not fantastic. That's a true crime hole. Yeah, goop. You haven't thought about the Foo Fighters in years? They haven't really been all that relevant in years. They've just been doing what they want to do, and good for them. Yes, Robo Party member. Cool. This is the criminal. This is true crimes. Okay, cool. So his dancing goop friend, big brute. We have the big brute. We have the oddly simple. The horde. Maybe it's like just a whole load of them, all fighting at once. I don't know why my bot has disconnected. Let's reconnect that. Now, Foo Fighters, the best of you in your brain, and you're not complaining. Is it stuck on loop? Is it? It should be given the best, 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 the best. It's like that Game Grumps Barry thing. Our house, in the middle of our house, our house. Could they be a priest of the Iron God? Unlikely. They've been encased in goop for a bit. They probably don't know this is all happening. I don't know. Maybe a combination. Maybe. Oh, I don't know. Why did I have to have a boss rush now? Maybe they can eventually convert. They could develop as a character. That's a thing that can happen. Believe it or not, we haven't done a lot of it, but it's a thing that can happen. I don't know what I want to do. So let's just do something. Let's do anything. Faith cannot be diminished by goop. I quite like the idea of just a few of these like together as a thing. Okay, good work with that. This is the multi-part boss that they can all work together to do a particular attack. They sort of amalgamate. They fuse with one another briefly. How long have they been gooped? Undetermined. Wibbly wobbly timey wimey. Whoops. They all group together to form a hammer to bonk with. Much bonk. Well, the enemies can bonk as well. That is the danger. We live in a bonk world. What? We live in a dog bonk world. That's it. That's difficult to say. Not the bonking. Yes, goop bonks. No? Okay. So what's everyone doing for the remainder of the week? Is there anything interesting happening? Because there is no going on with me. But I'm the one here who has to speak, so I need to do something to make it so that there is something happening in terms of audio here. Apart from the wonderful music of Adrian von Ziegler, which has been brought to you by Adrian von Ziegler. Because Adrian von Ziegler is a good one. Everyone listen to the works of Adrian von Ziegler, because you probably should, because it's good. Welcome then, hopes to do some foraging with your friend. Ooh, foraging. Some faux rage. Making some enemies angry. I like it. Some of these are just dangling goops and some of them are hands, and you don't know which. Apparently we're going to do a 6-hour stream complaining about Remnant tomorrow. Yes, definitely 6 hours. I wish you the best of luck with the last 4. Yeah, it's not going to work. If you want a job done doing, do your done. That's what I always say. Have much to complain about. 3 hours will just be forward. Yeah. Do what but diddy dum diddy do. Do what diddy dum diddy goo. That's the name of these 3 friends. I'm not entirely sure where that splits into 3 names, but it's up to you. I think this flying friend up here is Do Wop Diddy. This is Diddy Dum, and this is Diddy Goo. No, this is Do Wop Diddy. Diddy Dum, Diddy Goo. Got it. They looked good. No, they didn't. They looked fine. No, still not. Looked good, looked fine. Then I nearly lost my mind. You want to do your done. Yes. That can go in the quote vault. I was going to have one of those. I was going to have a thing where I would keep track of stupid quotes I've made, and then you can do exclamation mark quote, and it would just bring a random one up. Have you clicked over to Schrödinger for no apparent reason? I said I was singing the lyrics. So there she goes, just a walking down the street, singing do what diddy dum diddy do. And there was a line that was, then I nearly lost my mind, so I thought I'd click over to Schrödinger for the nearly lost my mind line. It was a joke. I was making a joke. Clearly a bad one, but it's a joke nonetheless. There is a difference between it happened for no reason and it happened for a bad reason. For some reason the music stopped. Thanks, YouTube. For some reason, I'm hearing the do what diddy diddy dum diddy do song in my head, but when it gets to like the second bit, the refrain from I Feel Good by James Brown takes over, and I don't know why in my head. My brain refuses to continue that song and instead goes, hey, how about I Feel Good? Why not? And it's like, I don't mind. Do you want to question why? Why, brain? Have you considered that? Have you considered why? It's a superior song. I mean, yeah. But you know, so is What a Wonderful World by Satchmo. But that doesn't come in. You can't continue that song. That's fair. I'm not going to sing it. I'm not going to subject you to that. Okay, so we have some strange goopy friends that can possibly comprise the boss rush. If you think you can come up with some better designs than this, particularly given that I didn't really do anything with cogs or people, do let me know. And by do let me know, I mean stick in Discord. Do a doodle. Have fun making amorphous blobs. It's a time. You can make them out of plasticine if you want. I'm not going to stop you. It'd be really weird if I tried, quite frankly. But homework, make goop people. Yes. Yeah, well, this is a weird stream, isn't it? I drew an unhappy snake. Redrew a factory, kind of. Made a chibi friend. And drew goop. Which sounds like drawing blood, but it's different. Come over and stop me from making goop people, I dare you. I think you'd probably, like... If I were to do that, you would probably have other questions first. Other concerns first. Goop on homework. Got it. Indeed. Right. Well, that. There it is. That's the one. Thank you, OBS, for rearranging my things. Yeah, I don't take responsibility for that. That's the end of the stream. I don't know where 2 hours went. I was delirious the entire time. Heat. It's not good for you. Like, how did you get here? There's a pandemic going on. Oh, don't worry. We've opened all. We can travel anywhere we want now. Right up until countries say, "Hey, don't come here." Yeah. Thanks for being here and keeping me going through my delirium. Hope it was at least somewhat enjoyable, and we had a little bit of an explanation as to some of the things that are happening, some of the things to expect, and where the story's going. Maybe, possibly, no guarantees. Tomorrow, it's not what it says here. Does it even deserve a fade in? Sure, why not? We are doing Chibi, Dark, and I, all being well, are doing a Falls AU, i.e. probably a complete rewrite of Remnant from the Ashes game, which we played on Dark's stream, if I recall. Because the game is just like... yeah? We're going to complain a whole lot, yeah. Yeah, so that's going to happen. I predict more big cute boys and less Ford. I did have a think. I don't know if we've already mentioned this, but I did have a think about Ford, and I kind of realised that it would actually have been better if we got there and there was just a skeleton and a cell with a key on it. It's like, you could just write out Ford as a character and it wouldn't make a difference. There's elements of a good story, but not actually a good story. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you realise that too. Yeah, it's like the game A+, the random bits of lore B, the point of the NPCs F-. Pretty much, like, yeah, we said in Discord, it's like, you know, I'm all for a game where nobody really knows what's happening and it's all just sort of guesswork, but when you're actively talking to unknowable beings of power beyond your comprehension, they should probably know something. Yeah, it only really works if you are only amongst the things that don't know what's going on. The only good ones are the random ones, which you may never meet. Yes, exactly. Fantastic. But that's how they get you playing again. I don't know why they want to get you playing again. Once you bought the game, but most games want you to play it and then stop and then buy a new one. Or buy DLC, I guess. Or microtransactions. It's a cynical game. So, that's happening tomorrow. We're already complaining. 22 hours early. We're already complaining. Yeah. So that's happening on Wednesday. Then maybe Chippy Nether's Day on the Thursday. Saturday. I don't know whether are we going to do a Don't Starve on Saturday? Is that a thing, or is there RPG hat stuff happening? Not sure. We're grinding for armor skins. Yeah, I don't know. We'll look into it. So yeah, that's the thing. No RPG, but you're not available this Saturday. Okay, so more Sekiro on Saturday. Yeah, and then on Sunday, possibly wiki stuff again, depending on availability. Not that you'll be able to play anyways, but you guys can play. Oh yeah, of course, the laptop thing. Yeah. Okay, we'll leave that until we can all play stuff together. Too bad you're not into this thing because you do love complaining. You can complain at will as soon as you start to understand enough of what we're talking about. But yeah, Satiro weekends die twice. Yes. Satiro. Is Sekiro a satire? It's a satire of big sword. I was trying to think of like a kind of like big pharma or big business, and the only thing I could think of was sword. Big monkey. Big monkey, that works, yeah. Satire, big monkey. We have already killed the big monkey though. Well, we've killed one of them. There are still two more. And we do have to do more fights in that arena, in the top of the pagoda, don't we? The one that Madame Butterfly just decided to jump out of. Good on her. It's also Lady Butterfly, not Madame Butterfly. What's Madame Butterfly? Is that a thing? That rings a bell. Opera? It's an opera. Right, cool. Cool, wonderful. I don't know it, so I'm not going to talk about it. So, anyway, thank you very much for coming along. I hope this was... This part of the story feels like filler, doesn't it? It feels like, hey, we got some more quests we need you to do. Is it particularly important? Not really. Let's just have a fun gameplay section. Bayonet? 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 I've forgotten what I said that might have prompted that to be said. It's Goop. It's Goop. I'm going to stop talking now. Have a wonderful week, everybody. Look after yourselves. If I don't see you tomorrow, I mean, that's probably likely because I don't have access to webcams or live anywhere near any of you. But yeah, have a great week. Bayonetta, there's Madame Butterfly in that. Is there? Oh, I didn't know. I played that game. Didn't really get on with it. Finished it, but bit too panicky for me. Yes, have a grand old week. Look after yourselves properly. Actually look after yourselves. Do things for yourselves. Take time for yourself. Don't try and do too much to overwhelm things. And stay cool, because it's bloody warm. At least it is here. If it's not warm where you are, make the most of it. And have a wonderful time. Goodbye.